What's going on, good people of the internet? It is time once again for Comics Unmasked, the podcast where a bunch of folks shoot the breeze and talk about comic books and such.
Yes, sir.
We are back once again for episode 12 because episode 11 is being put out as the double-sized mega static Batman Beyond interview that originally it started as one thing and then it got turned into another thing, and it's just awesome. I just got done recording the interview with Nicholas Draper Ivy where it was just banging. It was like, so you get Evan Narcissus for the first hour and then Nick for the second hour, and it's just awesome. So I said it before FOC dropped. Y'all got what 5 more issues. Y'all need to go pre-order Batman Static Beyond.
Yes.
Y'all need to do that because when I tell you this book is banging, y'all need to go support that book. It is banging. I'm telling you.
That's an insider look. That's an insider look. He's letting y'all know.
But like, just so you know, go peep that at your local comic book shop. But we're going to go ahead and dive into this, folks. Don't forget that you can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, and Audible, YouTube, all those great places. You can follow us on the Twitter, the Blue Sky, the Instagram, the Threads, all those places. We just started doing more traction on the Instagram today. We got stuff popping. Make sure that you check out our indie review, indie interview with T.S. Luther. We dropped on Friday, where we talked about his book, The Digger. We're going to be doing more indie interviews with awesome creators, so make sure that you check those out. But we're going to go ahead and dive into this. My name is JP. To my left, we have the woman who was diving into some food before the show and having a good time doing it. She is not crashing out today, hopefully, but we love her anyway. Oh, God. Astro, how you doing?
She's having to think about it.
I'm so good, and I'm thinking if I'm crashing out, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm wondering, and maybe I'll save that one for later. No, I am doing good. I just had a wonderful getaway weekend with my partner. We did a lot of cool things. We stayed in a witch's house.
Oh, wow.
All these silly cool things. Saw a burlesque show. My first ever burlesque show. I bought pasties, handmade pasties. They were. It was fun. And it was just one of those things. I was like, I'm so happy that I don't have service kind of mentality where it's like, okay, if I want service, we're gonna have to go back to the Airbnb. So I do appreciate things like that because I'll open up my phone and be like, I have things to look at. No, you don't.
Fair enough.
Live in the moment, girl.
Then we have the brother who apparently is living a cottagecore fantasy over there. Man, working at the weed store during the day and working at the weed store during the night while gaming. Apparently, B-Rex, how you doing, fam?
I am doing fantastic today. So I got into Schedule 1 over the last couple of days. And for the people who don't know, it's just a drug dealer simulator. And during my day job, I work at a dispensary. And so during the day, I handle marijuana. During the night, I come home with a passion to handle more marijuana.
B, I love you. That is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
I love it. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the mix here. So, Captain America 1943 has been delayed at Marvel again. This has frustrated me because this game is supposed to be like Black Panther and Captain America during that time period. And I'm getting real tired of this game because we already had the Black Panther video game get canceled. That irritated the hell out of me. But now we're getting this be canceled. And it feels like unless it's got Spider-Man on it, like video games keep catching delays because the Wolverine game got delayed. We know we're getting that finally.
Video games, like, it's one of those things where, like, there's been so many big dreams and announcements and talks and stuff like that of what if we did this and what if we did that, and the only ones that have come to actualization, like, the list is so much shorter than we think, and nobody even played the Guardians of the Galaxy one. So I'm not quite understanding.
It drives me nuts because the Guardians game was actually a banger.
I haven't downloaded that. I'm trying to play it. I'm trying to play it when I have the time to play it, but it's also one of those things that's like, I don't really. When it came out, and then we all moved on. Yeah, we all moved on as a community. I saw like some of the diehard like fans of the trilogy like post their screen grabs, like change their profile pics, and then we moved on.
Insane.
Honestly, for me, it feels like I don't know what's going on with video games nowadays, but it just feels like they need to stop announcing these games before they give time for these developers to actually go through and get it like 85% done at least, you know?
Don't even talk about it.
killing
Why did I
me,
know there was a
'cause,
Wonder
like-
Woman game coming out?
Wait, and that's been canceled too.
Exactly.
Well, apparently no, it's not been canceled. It's been the studio that was making it shut down, so it's in development hell. But given the fact that the Nemesis system was tied to it, it's been permanently just like on the back burner now. So like it's just it kills me.
It's basically canceled.
Yeah, and like I love how they pitch this because they're like, "Oh, Marvel 1943 has been delayed. They want to make sure they get it right, and yada yada." And I'm just, they're like, "Oh, we want to make sure it meets this level of quality." And they said it's being delayed till beyond early 2026. So not even a frame of idea of what it's going to be. But
They said come back next fall.
Maybe, but I'm wondering, similar to what we've heard about different conversations about different things, it makes me wonder if it's a conversation about the current state of like America and current state of the situation of certain things, because like who really wants to see like who really wants to deal with the controversy of Marvel making a Yahtzee video game in current day and age? Like, that's going to be a battle in its own right of Captain America and Black Panther trying to battle up against Nazis. Like, I'm sitting here like, do we really want to have that conversation? Do we really want to talk about that?
That's the whole thing too, is because there was a whole nother cancellation for something else a couple weeks back. I'm spacing out on the name of it because they were like, yeah, we don't really feel like we wanted to touch that whole thing. It was
Was it the Assassin's Creed?
Yes,
game?
There we go. Yes, it was the Assassin's Creed.
Can an Assassin's Creed girly speak? I just re-downloaded 3 because I've been replaying them all because I play Black Flag every single year. And
Hey, nope, that's respectable. That's the last Assassin's Creed I really enjoyed.
It's the best one.
I jumped off after Origins because Origins is the best one, and I will die on that hill. But
all right, I'll have to give it a shot.
I love history, and I think all of it is fun.
Oh no, you're right. I think my issue is like Black Flag fans go too hard on Black Flag and act like it's the gospel of everything. And I'm like, have you met my man Bayek of Siwa? Can Bayek of Siwa show you that Edward Kenway is a bitch?
I absolutely agree. I just am not well regarding pirates.
That's fair.
I love Treasure Island.
Because like straight up, Bayek of Siwa is the GOAT. Like I will die on that hill.
No, but like for the Assassin's Creed game, like it's one of those things that like if you like look at some of the themes of these Assassin's Creed games and like of these history games, and I'm going even back as to say like, because now that I think about it, like the early Spider-Man games, because I'm looking at Spider-Man on the GameCube. My man has a GameCube, but I'm looking at stuff like that. That it's like. I think there's like concepts and themes that it's not even that we're not willing to talk about, but we're not willing for like those people to like sit in it, even for 5 minutes, even if they don't buy the game. They don't even want the opportunity of like seeing gameplay footage or like bombing reviews, and it's such like a weird like stagnant time and like
it feels like revisionist history.
It like, and not even like, and when I say edgy, I mean kind of just like the themes that you're getting when you come into a video game like this, because like that's how always like, and when I think about Assassin's Creed, that's always been the deal. It's like we are talking about history, we are talking about themes of history you might not like, and we're talking about like clear like oppositional forces here.
And it blows my mind because like when like AC2 and 3 and what were coming out, there really wasn't this weird issue we were having with society where we're trying to have a revisionist history. We're trying to act like, oh, everything's woke. And I was even talking about it with Nick earlier, where it was like, why are we out here acting as if everything is woke now? Why are we acting as if everything is backwards?
The third game's about a native who, like, his father is a Templar.
And it's such an interesting dichotomy when you think about it. And now we're finding out that Ubisoft canceled a post-Civil War AC game that was going to talk about slavery because they didn't want to deal with the woke backlash. And I'm just like, I'm so tired. Like, it's so frustrating. What's funny is, like, we're kind of still on topic when it comes to comic books because there's Assassin's Creed comic books. But, like, it's funny as
I
hell.
just finished Assassin's Creed Conspiracies. Read the Assassin's Creed comic books. You get like a little sliver of some assassins you will really not see in video games, just because their
Yes.
stories are like so short and kind of like such like Conspiracies was about Heisenberg. Like this very like short period of time, like an assassin comes in and an assassin probably doesn't come out type of
See,
deal. So
it's
read
funny
those
you say
comics.
that because, like, after Origins came out, it was like right after Origins, the comics actually dealt with and finalized the Juno storyline, and I was like, now I don't care anymore. I don't want to play Odyssey. I don't want to play the Vikings. I don't want to play anything else because the comics waited so long for you fuckers to finish the plot that they finished it for you. So I don't care anymore. Like that made me stop giving a fuck.
Exactly. If you're
No,
well,
that's honestly why you go into the comic book medium, because you're going to get your stories a lot quicker. There's a
Yep.
sign right there because
They
it
got
comes out
books,
on
they
a
got
monthly
comics.
basis. They got books, they got comics. They're trying to throw all their stories as quick as they can, and trust me, those artists want to get paid.
So it makes me wonder if that's why we're seeing this delay with this, and it just makes me wonder: do we need to just axe the whole thing if there's issues concerning y'all being worried about like the woke conversation? Because if that's the conversation you're worried about having in 2025, maybe we need to like just like revisionist history everything and stop caring about stuff because it makes me wonder if
Exactly.
creativity is dead. It makes me wonder if like we need to stop giving a fuck
right,
about
like why even
mediums.
try?
Right.
Why
Because at
even
this
try?
point is I think even in like you were talking about this in your Luther interview, was that like he's a straight guy that just came into
Right.
this, you know, universe, and he's trying to write something from a perspective of, I believe it was Hispanic people, if I'm remembering correctly off of the interview, right? And
Yeah.
he went and talked to those people. He went and actually tried to experience their view and experience their lens and everything like that. He wasn't just going to sit down and be like, I'm going to write this and then send it to the editors and then we're going to be all set and good to go. And he even like talked about it in the interview. This is another thing, guys. Go listen to that interview because it is really good. Is that he even talks about how like he would get criticism, or if he got criticism to where it was like, this feels a little offensive, this feels like I might not enjoy, like, you as my perspective, I might not enjoy this, but I can see where you as the writer could have written this, you know. He's gonna go back, sit down and be like, how can I make this more digestible for somebody who isn't me, you know? And that's the whole premise of this woke argument that's going on, is you guys are seeing us being able to be included into an argument that you guys never previously even thought we were allowed to take space in. And congratulations, we are now taking that space. And so you guys can revision the history, you guys can change up the history, but we're still going to be here. And these same arguments are going to constantly be talked about, whether you call it woke, whether you call it LGBTQ, whether you call it whatever thing it will possibly end up being next.
And in the same vein to like exactly what's talking about, you will have artists and creatives that are going to do like the labor and work because they understand at the core of it, this is integral to their storytelling.
Most
This
definitely.
is integral to what they want to say and the kind of themology, review, whatever this project is trying to do, understanding that like, hey, I don't have the full perspective here. To me, that's just artistry. That's just a well-defined, well-rounded artist.
Right, and like I think for me, the thing that kind of bugs me, it kind of speaks to something we kind of encountered this past week in the Marvel Rivals community, where we had the straight up,
boy.
right? Like, hey, we're on Marvel topics. Let's talk about it because, and I even kind of joked about it in in the comments of one of my videos, where like we might do a monthly spinoff called Rivals Unmasked, where we talk about the game at some point because like it goes to the conversation.
A lot happens, but a lot happens in the community. A lot happens like within the game, honestly.
Right, and we had this dude, like black dude. We thought we thought he was cool. He was part of the community out here saying that women shouldn't be involved in competitive video games, and he was mad about some shit. He like spun the truth about what happened. He got found out to be some bullshit, and he got found out that in comment sections he was saying that women shouldn't have the right to vote and shit. And I'm like, bro, you sound so goofy because and I even said it in my video. I was the only one who kind of looked at this from this lens too. I thought it was so funny because you sound like a brother who's sitting here being a houseboy. You sound like you're drinking the white man Kool-Aid, and it's just like, bro, maybe you should sit down and stop trying to suck up to the white man. You sound like Uncle Ruckus. I need you to stop saying no relation. I need you to come down and be with the rest of the brothers and not be ignorant. Because when you out here saying women shouldn't have rights, that spits in the face of every progressive woman that tried to fight for you to have rights. So
Amen.
I need you to get with it.
Like, think about your mama. Ooh.
Honestly, though, like it blows my mind, and it just like it speaks to the fact that we're trying to have this revisionist history at the end of the day, where like it's gonna get to a point where creativity is dead, and it flips the script because you'll see them be like, oh, we don't want you to race change a character, or like have a legacy character be black or whatever, but then they'll be like, oh, why don't you go make your own thing? We'll make our own thing. And they'll be like, oh, it's woke. I'm like, make up your mind. You just don't want us to have shit. And it just don't make no damn sense.
Exactly. The one thing, too, when it comes to this fool, for anybody who's thinking on trying to speak out and be like this guy in the future, I can see how this dude was very angry at the time. And there was one thing that we
throwing, very angry.
Right, exactly. And so one thing that I can like come down, if you're to the point that you need to vent in front of a camera, because I'm a TikToker, I do it too. I have videos saved into my draft for days of me venting, okay? But there's a reason why I don't post it. You want to know why? Because I go back and I look at it, and those are some of the L takes that I would have, and I would be goofed off the internet so gosh darn quick. That it's the truth,
or at least the recovery conversation would be like, okay, like, well, we got to talk about this.
We got to talk about this. But here's the thing: most people, if you're heated, take a nap, wake up the next day, and then just continue on. Take the best step forward that you can do, because it's not the female's fault. It's not the men's fault when it comes down to it in some cases, even though in a lot of cases it does end up being a man's fault. But that's a different conversation.
That was your personal L, buddy.
Yeah. But that, yeah.
It's just what you were saying of like, because I did a video in regards to like, oh, like women shouldn't play video games, of like women in arcade spaces, and kind of like we've been talking about revisionist history that's like been done, where at the end of the day during the arcade era it was just teenagers being in the arcade. Gender didn't matter. Everybody wanted to skip school and play video games, and you can see in modern day that also transcends gender. I also want to skip school and just play video games. So the notion
I was gaming
of like
with my girlfriend before this, it's one of the best things in the world is when you can find a gamer girl.
What we've been doing, and it's one of those things that it's like, to be so thinking about gender in such a way, or in such like a specific, it's always on your mind, that from what the clip showed, if you are in a lobby with a girl and so much as hear like a feminine voice, and you're like, well, it's over. This game is over.
It blows my mind. Honestly,
you've embarrassed. First of all, you're wrong, and you've embarrassed yourself publicly. Right. I don't understand dying on this hill.
Right, and it bugs me because like it speaks to this idea that we have currently in society, where everyone's like, "Oh, there's a male loneliness epidemic." Like, speaking from experience as someone who has one of the finest girls on the planet, and I'll stand 10 toes down on that. Maybe if you like actually treated a woman with respect, you might get somewhere, homie. Maybe if you quit trying to take away women's rights. Maybe you should treat them with respect.
She's a human. She's a person. She bleeds too. She breathes too.
See, now I might have had the benefit here to where I was raised by my mom. I was raised by my sister. I lived with women my entire life. Even with the current situation that I have now, it's 3 women versus me. And so like, there's a balance that you guys gotta have, and for any man that's
you're just a soy boy. You're just getting you're being emasculated by those women, don't you know?
He's literally simping right now. Daily simping. He wakes up and simps. I know. This is outrageous.
I wake up and simp. This is the thing that I don't think most men understand, though, is that I live with 3 women. That means they wake up and they go to the restroom in their pajamas. Some of these women like to sleep comfy. you guys got to remember, you will be better off in life if you treat women with respect when it comes down to just walking around the house, when it comes down to just the food that they make. Because now I got 3 women cooking for me versus just the 1 woman cooking for me because I respect women. All of them are willing to share their food with me.
And what chores do you do in this house?
You guys just got to be nice. What chores do I do in this house? I take out the trash. That's literally, that's what they asked me to do. They asked me to take out the trash.
The tangent's gone too far. But at the end of the day, the future looks a little bleak, and we need to make sure that we are allowed to express ourselves when it comes to political topics. So, Marvel 1943, you better quit delaying yourself like your name is GTA 6 and come out already. I'm just saying. But moving on from there, the reports have come in that the Avengers Doomsday will be Patrick Stewart's not just final appearance as Professor X, but final appearance as period, as like an actor. And thank fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Because
honestly,
man is old as dirt.
Like...
Let him rest.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't call McAvoy. You couldn't call somebody else. Like, I feel bad for him and Ian McKellen getting up here trying to do shit. Like, you couldn't call anybody else to do this shit. Like, is it cool that we're getting him one last time? Sure. When the music came on in Doctor Strange, was I hyped? Yes. Did the wheelchair look spot on to the animated show? Yes. But the man is old. Let him rest.
It's also one of those things of like Sir Ian just recently doing a Shakespeare show and that having to be cut short because of him having medical complications and stuff like that. Like there's something to say about when does the craft kind of end in a way, and also like why are individuals continued at least in like the theater sense of like Sir Ian, I can totally understand like wanting that to be your last hurrah, but like in this regard it does kind of almost feel like a Stan Lee, like let's like one last go, like the face of it all, like one last go. And if it is like his last stint in acting, I think that is so memorable.
Oh, for sure.
To have it be in a Marvel movie, but I also think, in a way, I'm jaded and I'm scared, profitable to have it be in a Marvel movie. And a Marvel movie that has been so ridiculous in terms of like conception to production. A Marvel show that has been just a movie that has just been, the minute we talked about it, it was like, you're doing what with who?
It's exactly was the chair shit cool? Was all the names in the chairs cool when you caused the whole internet to stop for like the 12 to 18 hours watching these chairs? Yes, it was cool. It was fun, but like these motherfuckers are old. Like even when when Patrick was in like the Wolverine movie, or when he did the Picard show on Paramount Plus, I'm like, brother, you're old. You can rest. It's okay. Like, am I hyped to see it one last time? Sure. But, like, you could have called McAvoy. You could have called Fassbender. We didn't need to do this to these old men. We didn't need it. It's cool.
We have one. And in my opinion, we have one.
Yeah.
With
and
X-Men.
This goes down to the
conversation
that we, like, constantly talk about is progression in comic books, and just along those lines, I felt like they had a great setup with Days in Future Past, to where these 2 characters could have came in, we could have watched a new generation age out, and then you guys could have started adding in more future characters, or you can add in some younger characters.
Didn't go well, B.
Yeah, I know, but like I enjoyed them.
Couldn't let go of that concept of moving on.
Exactly, and then they just held back is the thing for me, because we have so many new younger actors, and it's not even new. Wait, I forgot about Apocalypse. Actually, we just don't talk about that one at all.
But and then you look at Dark Phoenix, and then you hear Jennifer's neck snapping, and you're just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot. Oh my gosh. The X-Men movie, I don't understand.
They went off the why with those.
They really did.
And it's one of those things that I want to sit down and watch all of them.
That could be a fun bonus thing, us just ranting about those movies.
Let's rant about them. Let's sit down and watch all of them, because I want to compare it to X-Men runs, because there's something, I haven't watched them in forever, but there's, because when I think of X-Men movies, maybe it's the Charles Xavier Eric, shipper of like heart of it all. But I think of First Class, and
Yes.
I thought First Class was kind of diabolical in the way that mutants were utilized. And
Right.
maybe that's the kind of tell point forever and always of like, it's a little diabolical how you use
So,
these
it's
mutants.
wild too because I will always hate First Class for a couple of different
You had a
reasons.
whole lineup. We threw away a whole lineup.
Well, it's not just you threw away a whole lineup. You took the name of a comic that I actually enjoyed. I
Right.
remember getting that like mailed to me because Marvel used to have a program where like monthly you could get mailed books from like specific runs, and I used to get the original like X-Men First Class book mailed to me. But like that was a cool little run of like Gene Scott, like Hank and Warren and Bobby doing their own thing. And like so, when you showed me this trailer and none of
Yeah.
them were there, I
Yeah.
was like,
It was
huh.
Yeah,
Then
no.
I watch it. And the movie's going great. I'm kind of vibing with it, sure. This is cool. This is before Hunger Games came out and whatnot. And then I see Hank not be blue, and I'm like, all right, that's fine, cool. It's First Class. It makes sense. But then I see Eddie Gathegi, and I'm like, now you've pissed me off, and I don't want to be here anymore. And that's why the Superman movie means so much to me, because Eddie Gathegi got robbed, and then he got like did right. But then I get to Days of Future Past and Apocalypse, and we keep playing this game of, oh, Nicholas Hoult is pretty. We have to make sure that Nicholas Hoult can be pretty sometimes. And I'm like, y'all messing with my man's right here. Like,
And like I love this game because Nicholas Hoult is like pretty always like I'm a skins girly. Like don't even roll your
not
eyes at
skins.
me.
Don't bring skins in here. Oh Lord.
I'm the type of bitch that would.
No, because like my roommate keeps telling me to watch Skins, and she's like,
No,
I know
don't
you
watch.
hate Nicholas Hoult though.
Do you know? Did you watch Degrassi? Like
Yes,
season one
I'm a
Degrassi?
Degrassi fan. I love Degrassi.
Okay, if you're a Degrassi fan, you got it.
I know.
You you did it.
That's
You
what she
don't
keeps
need the
telling
skins
me.
in your
But I
life
hate
because it
Nicholas
is just
Hoult.
that, but British, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah, I know.
It's already hard in the Western sense, and if you want to see it in the British sense,
it's wild.
But
And that's why I loved him as Luther so much, because Luther fixed my hatred of him.
Right.
But then, like, the X-Men movies made me hate him so much because it's
well,
like,
it's the same
you're
exact thing that
supposed to be
happens
blue.
with Jennifer Lawrence in those movies.
But see, I can let her go a little bit because like there's like because her power literally is changing. Her power literally is changing her body. She literally got a woman pregnant. Damn it, she's allowed to change how she looks sometimes. But like Beast, he changes.
But why
one
is it
time,
always into Jennifer Lawrence?
but like with Beast, he changes one time, and then every other time he changes,
I think
he just gets more beast-like.
I think him not being a beast in Days of Future Past like made no goddamn sense at all.
Like,
especially if you have, especially if you have the positioning of like this is a beast that has been by Xavier's side. Like, if you want to talk about timeline and stuff like that, why is he not a beat? What? Okay, no, it's fine.
See,
his human hands can crush up the drugs.
Though is like, as somebody who's not the biggest Marvel person, watches the movies basically is what I know. As a kid I was lost at that.
Nicholas Holt's pretty.
Yeah, it's because he's pretty, but it's just like, for me in my head as a kid, I'm like, but Beast. Beast, like, why is he not here?
Like a Hulk.
It's so dumb.
And that's what
so dumb.
it ruins it for me as a kid, because I love the movie. I love everything about it. But as a kid, that was the only thing in my head that could not get past it, is because you go to see Beast. You don't see Beast to not be Beast. That doesn't make sense to me.
One scene of like hanging upside down by the feet, like writing something. Like there was like no.
Like,
it was
that's why Kelsey Grammer was so good. Because
exactly.
Because say what you will about X-Men Last Stand. X-Men Last Stand had some weird moments and points, but there's the iconic Magneto speech. There's the fight scenes. There's the Elliot Page being a badass back in the day. Like there's those different moments. But Kelsey Grammer was a banger in that movie. And then you're like, oh, he's pretty. We have to let him be pretty.
Last Stand is iconic to me, honestly. Yes. if I say First Class in a dreamy kind of, ooh, what could have been type of sequence in my brain, I think of Last Stand as like, good. That was good. That was a good X-Men movie. Don't watch the X-Men movies. Read the X-Men comics. If you like X-Men, don't
If you read the X-Men comics, though, your brain's gonna hurt, though. So it's a mixed bag.
Well, if you're listening to this podcast, I assume your brain's hurting in some capacity already from whatever media you're into. So I don't think X-Men comics are going to be the worst thing. Look at guides.
Honestly, though, but like just in general, though, am I thankful that we get to see like Patrick one last time? Yes, but goddamn, it's okay to stop. It's okay to stop, my guy. You didn't have to do this, but we're happy that you're doing it, and we appreciate you for doing it. At the end of the day,
just I don't know. It's very. People see Doomsday now if they weren't gonna already.
Oh, it sucks.
Sorry.
But no, you're right though. Like they're like if they weren't seeing it for Downey, they're seeing it because it's the last ride for them, and it definitely sucks from that way. I'm gonna flip over to the DC side of things, and like B, you put Gotham Academy on the list, and I wanted to start with that. What you got to say? What you cooking here?
So
are you reading Gotham Academy?
This one? I am reading Gotham Academy. This is the first time I was able to like pick up Gotham Academy, and it is for one
the OG or the year one.
This is the year one.
The currently
so this is the new one that just came up. Yep, the currently releasing. And so far, I just read the second issue. It just came out this week. I completely forgot about it. Didn't even have it on the last week's poll to let people notify. And this is why you make friends with your comic book store people, because they will keep up on what you're buying, so that way they'll be like, hey, here, this is something you bought a month ago and I see you haven't talked about it, do you still want it? And they will give it to you if you still want it. It's amazing. I love it. And so the comic book though itself, it's mainly going around the story. I'm spacing on her name right now, but she basically meets Bruce Wayne after Batman ends up terrorizing her mom and terrorizing her, and then after meeting Bruce Wayne, she gets sent to Gotham Academy, to where she is having a wonderful time of trying to be a poor person in a rich person's neighborhood. And so coming from that retrospect, I just want to leave it there for most people so they can get into it. It kills me because even with every instance and every premise that we can get outside of the Bat family, we are still pulled into the Bat family in the case with the first issue with this one. They made the separation to the second issue, which I really enjoy because it follows a lot more of the stories of what's actually going on, her relationships of what's happening with some boys, and her mother being in prison. All of this stuff tying together
the plot
so well for the plot pulls me into it and makes me love this story so much better than the constant Batman getting thrown in there. And so I just wanted to throw that onto the highlights for this week because...
Well, that's why I didn't pick it up initially, because of the Batman kind of... the Batman fatigue of it all.
Exactly.
I want to talk about
so I wanted
the real fatigue that's happening right now in America is Batman fatigue. I'm going to be so honest with you.
I can agree with that. And so that's why I wanted to bring that in for this, is because if you're looking for something that's in Gotham that's away from the Batman fatigue and everything like that, pick up issue 2. It is adorable. It is great. It's also just so caring when it comes down to just a mother-daughter relationship that's there. And it just, maybe it's because I see my mom and my sister together a lot. We're getting older in age and stuff like that, and I'm seeing them together and all of that other stuff. But, just connections. It's nice to see actual growth with some characters.
It's good to know, because it's good to know that, issue 2 is a little more leaning towards the personal and the character, just because flipping through it at the store, I was like, woo! Batman saves a girl.
Yep, and that's what I was afraid it was going to be. And so I needed to just at least put that out there, because I know there's been a lot of Batman fatigue. Here's something in Gotham that might help some people out that's going on with that.
Shout out.
Speaking of Batman fatigue, let's talk about DCKO Night Fight number 1.
Because I've been speaking about this actually for a while, kind of thing. And no, because everybody is so... I love to do this thing on TikTok where I portray Batman one of two ways he's been portrayed, whether it's a apathetic, kind of awful father, or a man who tries, doesn't get it right, but he tries and he says sorry. I like portraying both. Sometimes people don't like when I portray the other one. I want to do a video or a paper one day soon about the reactionary defense of Batman, because I do it too all the time and I don't know what it is. But I think especially in this issue, there's something to say here about the Batman identity. And I really wonder if that conversation is going to continue, because I'm getting almost flashbacks of the Batman Who Laughs, where we have a scenario where a Batman is looking at Batman in the eyes and is like, yo, you are, the way you operate, the way you dance, the way you do all these things, it's not effective. It's not great. And then we have a Bruce Wayne being like, but look at what you're doing. And the talk of like, okay, well, is Batman right? Is that Batman right? Is it even right to be Batman? I love
Right.
conversations like that. That's why I honestly did really like this issue.
Right, like, because when you sit down and read this issue, like, it's the whole thing of, oh, of course Batman figured out a way to beat the fucking game show and yada yada, and you get annoyed like the minute you read it, but then somehow he gets
it was an eye roll, but like, you got your comeuppance,
right? And he ends up in this like different world where Dick has become Batman like in a different way. And he talks about how I did things differently than you. Oh, I relied on people. I didn't just try to think, oh, the mission will consume me and yada yada. And it's this great exploration of what a lot of us have been saying for a long time of Bruce, shut up and sit the fuck down, because you're kind of overwhelming the masses. Because Dick is straight up like, bro, you let everything consume you. You didn't want to stop being Batman, and it drove you fucking insane.
You didn't trust us inherently.
Yes. Exactly. And that's
you trained us and then didn't trust us.
Yep, that's one of the key things that everybody talks about Batman on TikTok, and what they're so tired of hearing is just the same old stuff that we get from Batman. And this is something else that we finally get to see, that we talk about, is future progression in a comic book in some case. You know, we actually get to see the Robins come in at this case, and you see Orphan taking over, you see Dick taking over the mantle, you see the other Robins having subsections of other Robins that they take care of.
I was about to say,
you know, like
the idea of Robin Inc. sounds
cool.
so iconic, because I love the idea of We Are Robin.
That is and that is cooler to me than a Morrison's kind of Batman Inc. A Robin Inc. Like,
makes so much sense.
It makes so much more sense, but it's also so much more sinister.
Healthy. Oh, that's awkward. I'm
interested. All right, let's see the sinister, and then let's hear the healthy.
Let's unpack this. All right, because like I was thinking it was healthy because it reminds me of what they tried to do with DC Future State, with the idea of Dick wanted to start a Titans Academy. Right. The idea of doing, and like they kind of like torpedoed it and like let it die really quickly, which pissed me off. But like, yeah, no, Dick would be the one to start an academy for like the next generation of superheroes, and he would get it right. But for some reason, editorial was like, nah, torpedo it. And it's like no, if Dick gets his way, if he gets the Starfires, the Cyborgs, the Ravens to help him do it, it's going to succeed.
That's the thing. There it is.
Yes.
Help.
Yes.
It's not just Dick Grayson doing it.
Yes.
Because in the scenario specifically where it is just Dick Grayson making a Robins Inc., that's where you have the cyclical nature of, okay, child soldiers roulette game once more. Let's fucking play. But I agree with you only in the sense of like, okay, well, the Titans are doing this to like continue the legacy of
because you see all
heroes.
of them helping with that.
Absolutely.
In a vacuum, it makes sense. But if Dick's doing it by himself, it's chaos. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like now, I liked what they did during the New 52 with We Are Robin, because the idea of Alfred funding a group of Robins underground, of course Alfred's going to steer them in the right direction. But if Dick does it, it's not going to go well.
It's very traumatic. It's very, let's do what we did back in the day. No,
I want to make you guys eat
Dick
rats.
Grayson, no.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, yep.
Hey, what do you think of Nightfall?
We don't talk about All-Star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder enough, y'all. We don't have to be like, go read that issue.
Why would we?
Let's paint a room yellow to bother Hal Jordan, guys.
Goodness me.
Do you want to eat rats, guys? Let's talk about eating rats.
I'm in hell.
Oh God, we love Frank Miller, guys. We love Frank Miller. But no, like I loved it, and I love the stinger at the end because it makes me excited to see the other universes, because we know there's the 3 other Batmen we have to see at some point in these
Right.
issues. Because because I swear to God, if they do the Jeff Johns thing. Like, Williamson, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you right now. Williamson, I'm looking at you right now. If you do the Jeff Johns thing and make Tim Drake a villain, I'm gonna come after you because I'm tired of this nonsense narrative that Tim Drake would be a bad Batman.
I didn't even think about that. And now they're gonna.
Because Johns did it with Titans, and with Titans of Tomorrow, and then Tynan continued it during Detective, where they brought that version of him back. I hate this weird narrative where the people who don't like Tim Drake try to spin it to where,
it's so
he would be a bad Batman.
It's so
Tim would be the best Batman. You just don't want Tim to succeed, and it would be iconic.
You don't want to read Tim Drake's runs.
Exactly.
This is the only thing I've got to add to that for anybody who's against this whole Tim Drake being Batman thing. We have Tim Drake as Batman because Tim Drake's personality, in my opinion, is absolute Batman. And that has been a killer. Because
I need you to expand on that, because now I'm over here like, wait a minute, what?
So with Tim Drake, at least what I've noticed, he's allowed to be more brutal. He's willing to be a little bit more harsh with criminals and just stuff like that. And so that's what we're getting with the absolute Batman. We're seeing a Batman who is willing to go all out. And the issue that I come across here is people are willing to give Bruce Wayne the brutalness to the Batman, and they're like, oh yeah, we love this Batman because he's so brutal. We love this Batman because he does all this stuff. But then Tim Drake's Batman comes in. We don't want that Batman coming in for plethora of reasons, but the majority of reasons that I ever see is because Batman doesn't kill. And I mean, let's be honest. We've gotten past that point by now. We should have gotten past that point by now. I feel like you put the wrong label on the
wrong kid here, B. I feel like you're looking for a Jason Todd here, B.
No, my God, I am. Oh, dear God.
Because I'm over here like,
I'm thinking Jason Todd.
As the resident Tim Drake stan, I feel like you kind of just like went the wrong direction.
I'm thinking Jason Todd. I am totally thinking Jason Todd here. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Guys, this is what happens when you don't sit and appreciate all the Dick Drake issues. I know there's a lot of them, but it's one of those things that you like kind of have to do.
Well, and what's
there's
funny
too many Robins for me to catch up with here.
Right, and like what's gonna bug me is Williamson knows perfectly who Tim is as a character. If you read this issue, he says it: the brains, the detective. Tim is always thinking, always planning. He understands who Tim is as a character because Tim is the one person that gets it right. Tim is the one person. If you read Red Robin from Pre-New 52, you see who Tim is supposed to be. You see what he is supposed to personifiably be and be perfect as a superhero. But if you take that away from him, it's going to be just, I thought too hard and now everybody has to die because I'm the only right hero.
Well, I was going to give B a layup regarding like the ingenuity.
That's what I was thinking.
Batman.
I'm like, if he's broke, maybe he's just gonna be smart and think. And then he goes, no, brutal. I'm like, I think you got the wrong bird there.
That's perfectly fair. I was completely on the wrong bird, and then now that you've corrected me on that, 100%, I agree with you. He's the detective. He wrote, like, obviously in this one he wrote it down, but go read back anything before, I would even say like 2015 and just stuff like that, when they started really like tying some more Robins into some more issues. I've noticed with at least research. It's just, he just investigates so much better, and the dynamic between him and Batman, they bounce off each other in that investigative state that you see so much more, instead of the, I would say, the counterbalance that you see with like every other Robin, to where he's almost trying to like get them onto the right path for their like ideas and how that Robin is, versus this other Robin, to where he like almost feels like he has that connection that's just like, this boy's here. He's like, this is me that I can push forward. And I felt that in the earlier issues, but with all the Robins nowadays, it just kind of feels like, Dick Grayson.
I'm gonna buy you a label maker where you can just put a label on each forehead and be like, there you go.
That's honestly what I need. That's honestly what I need. Because when I was going through the issue in the first place, I was like, thank goodness, because the only way I can do this sometime is all I know is that his biological son has the spiky hair, and I need to work on that.
Oh wait, it's because you got confused reading the issue.
Yep, I'm gonna be honest. It was because I got reading the issue and I was looking at that in there.
Possibly even a good idea.
I'm sorry. They need to. This is just a personal opinion when it comes down to the Robin costumes and stuff like that. I can't just go off of hair and mask changes here. I'm a straight guy.
I need a full I genuinely
on,
thank you for the honesty.
Outfit change. Okay, I need a full on outfit change with these Robins.
They made it even worse because if you look at 2025, like the current Batman and Robin run, they took away this really cool new Robin costume they gave Damian, where it feels a little more ninja-y, and it's black and gray. And
I love the gray.
And they took it away and put him back to this red and green and yellow, and it's okay, you put him back in the red, green, and yellow, and you gave the red and black back to Tim, which is cool, Philip Kennedy Johnson. I'm down with you doing that, but it feels as if you kind of just took away a bunch of progression for Damian. And I don't even like Damian, and I'll admit that. You kind of did him a little dirty there.
Visually, it's one of those things that if this simple slip up can happen to a B-Rax here that has read a comic or two before, I think it's one of those things that...
I've at least promised I've read a few of them.
So funny, because I literally was damn, weed in the morning, weed at night, I something's up, but I see exactly. I was genuinely gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm not even lying.
That's why we were gonna let you unpack that, and then you didn't.
I appreciate
the way it is. So we really have been letting you unpack these tangents. Let's hear you. Speak on it.
Speak
at least I know that you guys will keep me on check whenever I'm off on characters here, because there's way too many of them sometimes. I get them mixed up all way too much.
But I think with James's point, there's such a thing genuinely of the visual representation of these characters, especially like I said before, if you want to have a Bruce Wayne that looks at these boys and sees himself inherently in them himself. Wow, Astro. Wonderful sentence. I'm so happy you got a bachelor's in this. A language you already spoke.
Wow.
Great.
But
it's important. You need that visual differentiation.
That's why I was so thankful.
I'm not talking anymore.
Wait, what?
I'm not talking anymore. I don't know how to speak. I don't know how to pronounce words. And I'm not speaking anymore.
You're still here. We love you. It's okay. You're allowed to still speak. It happens. But no, there's something to be said about what you're saying though, because there started to be a really cool progression when it came to these characters. You started to see they were starting to grow up a little bit. But then there was the whole Young Justice Robin Drake thing that happened with Bendis.
Damian's kind of a teenager.
And Damian was growing up. It was really cool to see that we saw a different costume. Truthfully, I really liked the idea that they did before that, where Damian kind of just stopped wanting to be a hero because him and Bruce got into it about him imprisoning villains. I thought that was a cool thing because it was yes, now he will get the fuck out of this house and I can get rid of him. But it was also Williamson came in and was I can tell a cool Damian story, and I gave him a cool black and gray costume and gave him a girlfriend and we grew him up, and it was okay, cool development. I'll let it ride.
And that was fun, right?
Yes.
But I think this kind of sticking with the Batman, and maybe that's why I appreciated this issue so much when it comes to the DCKO conversation, because as we know, Asher didn't even want to be in this conversation in the first place. I do love the dissection of, okay, what does it mean that Batman got out of this?
Yes.
So, okay, like I said before, he got his comeuppance. You didn't want to die in this? Okay, don't die in this. But you're going to come home to your city and you're going to see your firstborn, in a retroactive sense, do what he thinks that he should be doing with the ideals that you gave him. Then you see what's happening and it's oh, my child.
All right. From there, we're going to jump into the comic sales charts from Comic Hub for the month. because we saw for
Oh,
October,
yes.
that there's a really interesting dynamic going on with this list where we see DCKO at the top of the list because it's an event. Like of course events are going to sell variant covers. There was a bunch of shit for that. That makes sense. But and then also the one standout was Mark Spears' Monsters, because that had like 1,000 variants because they were all different monster themes and things of that nature. So that's going to be up there in the top 5. But then you see like a banger, like Daniel Warren Johnson's Transformers up there, which is super cool. But then you see Absolute Batman. You see Absolute Batman. You see Absolute Wonder Woman. You see Ultimate Spider-Man. And it speaks to something we've been saying, where other, like, you'll have your standouts like Batman is still in the top 10, Amazing Spider-Man is still in the top 10. But what books are selling better than those two that are constantly always going to be the top 10? The books where there's different versions of those characters that are getting
alternate universes, the Elseworld.
The ones that are doing more progression and more development with their characters. Like, oh, Ultimate Spider-Man is selling better than Amazing Spider-Man because Spider-Man gets to have a family. Exactly. They're actually showing there can be plot when he has a family. And we've had this
conversation before. And I've said this before, that the last paper I wrote for my undergrad was kind of, what does it mean in this fan verse and being a fan that individuals are so tied to original run. Individuals have been pulling Amazing Spider-Man since the dawn of time. What does it mean that in order to reinvent these characters, in order to put creative passion into these characters in a way that maybe individuals in industry can't do otherwise, is making an Elseworld, is making an alternate universe. One of my favorite DC stories to this day still is Dark Knights of Steel. Yes. Not only because I love the subject matter, but I just think we also Wonder Woman and Supergirl.
You see you're getting a sequel?
Say again?
You see you're getting a sequel?
Yeah!
Tom Taylor announced you're getting a sequel?
It's one of those things where it's fun. It's fun, and we get progression of characters.
It's like Bombshells. Like, there's fun, different versions of
exactly. Like,
things.
I can joke all I want of, like, yes, absolutely, what we're doing here with Supergirl and Wonder Woman, this is what we need to be doing for all time. But the conversation of a Bruce Wayne, of a Clark Kent, they're brothers, what does that mean? We get all these things that you're never going to see in mainline because we just can't, or that's not exactly what we need to focus right now in these mainline stories. So what does it mean that when you look at the charts, what people want to be reading are these Elseworld stories where nothing of the past kind of matters? You don't, and we've said this before, it is kind of work to get into
it's
comics,
exhausting sometimes.
Almost. So for an individual that has maybe just saw Superman in theaters, has just saw the Matt Reeves's Batman, the Penguin that just came out and is like, okay, I want comics. Let's talk about it. Exactly. And they buy these absolutes and it's okay.
It's easy. It's more digestible
stories
yes.
You can start with, and you can get them all.
Exactly. It makes it easier for like new people who are getting into comics to be able to pick up these side stories, because it doesn't feel like you're going to be bombarded with having to know Superman's backstory and what every
editor's
single kryptonite
notes
does to him. You know, I need the editor's notes to go back to what thing to do this. It's a fresh story. It's new. This is one of the things that got me off of trade paperbacks mostly and actually picking up my own generation of comics now. Yo. So it actually feels like I have something that I didn't get handed down from my sister. Down for my family, you know, this is going to be something I can hand down to my nephew now and be like, you've gotten this, now here's an Elseworld story in comics, you know. It's those small things like that. And then like Astra was saying, Mr. Terrific had a bump in comic sales, and when it came down to it, there were people wanting to go in and see it after the movies, and nope, they weren't there on shelves just because they decided not to go and pre-order for some reason.
I can tell you what happened. It's because before the movie came out,
Issue 1 came out first. Yeah,
the miniseries was solicited first, and the comic shops were like,
it's
probably not going to be that big. We'll buy like one shelf copy and call it a day. And then those shelf copies that got picked up are worth like $15, $20, $30
by the real ones, who either love Mr. Terrific because they've just. They're not new to this, they're true to this, or they know the movie's coming out, and it's like, oh shit, this movie's coming out, this character's in it, let me buy the first issue because they've been around this block a couple of times. But
Yeah.
for the rest of individuals that maybe don't know Superman, maybe just started reading comics or what have you, don't read DC, what have you, can't buy it.
Right, no,
Sorry.
that's why I
Yep.
try to encourage people that if you're trying to get into comic collecting, make sure you're downloading the Key Collector app. The Key Collector app is a great tool that shows you what first appearances are, what books are rare, what variant covers matter, because they'll tell you when a book is going to spike. They'll tell you when they're seeing movement on eBay and things of that nature because books are being CGC'd. They will tell you what's going on. So if you need to find out a tool to help you with your collecting, the Key Collector app is a great tool. Make sure you check that out because it will tell you what's up. But also sometimes just going into a store and asking some questions of hey, what's going to be available. And I was talking to Evan Arces and Nicholas Draver Abbey about it because it was what do you feel like you need to do to help people? And it's DC and Marvel don't really market their books well, other than Batman and Superman. So you kind of need to go out there and do a little bit of fact finding on your own.
If you have a really good comic shop that has an amazing new weekly releases and everything is front facing, you really don't. Or you have a comic shop that gets every comic that could possibly release on that day, and you genuinely, your eyes just can't see that far. You don't know what's up
exactly
there.
And that's why you're going to start seeing in the Discord server, we're going to be posting when Final Order cutoff is. We're going to start posting what books are coming out because we want you guys to be informed. So make sure you join the Discord. The link's going to be in the description. That's not us just doing a plug. That's us saying we care about you. We want you to be informed. We want you to know what's going on because
it's an annoying medium. If anyone will say it, the three of us will say it all the goddamn time.
Most definitely.
It can be annoying sometimes.
For sure.
It sucks on how much stuff will just sneak past you because we're all prevalent in the comic book community, and when it comes down to the video game we were talking about for Marvel, that snuck past me. I didn't even know it got delayed. That was the thing that's crazy. When I pulled that up and it was this was delayed, it's not even being announced, what the hell's going on here? And that's the thing, insane. I'm hearing about it from a delay. That's the crazy thing is too. We should not be hearing about stuff from delays. I watched the trailers.
Hell, I saw that Kari Payton was playing I think T'Challa's grandfather or some shit. I thought that was so cool. But the problem with it is it's being delayed and we don't know what's the amount of work those guys did on that mocap is insane. So the fact that we're still delaying it is blowing my mind. But but make sure you still we're gonna go ahead and dive into some of the books that we want you guys to pick up for this coming week because these books matter. We want you to go check them out. For instance, Mr. Terrific Year 1 is hitting issue 6. It's the final issue of the 6-issue mini. Make sure if you didn't get to read the previous issues, you can still support and let DC know that you care about this character. You want more of this character. You can pre-order the trade paperback. The FOC for it is next month, and then it comes out in January. So make sure that you pre-order the trade with your comic book shop because they will be able to help you get that taken care of. JSA Year 1 is starting with issue number 13. It's not a separate book. It's just an arc of the comic that's picking up from there. And Jeff Lemire said this is going to be the biggest story he's ever done with the JSA. So make sure that you peep that. It's going to be a banger. So make sure you cop that. Batman Static Beyond. I'm telling y'all.
Right now, listen up.
This book. I'm telling you, if you like Batman Beyond, I'm telling you, Nick, his artwork is straight out of the TV show. This man, you can hear Will Friedle on the page. You can see straight up Will Friedle on the page. You can hear Cree Summer coming out of Max on the page. That shit is real when you read that book. So I need y'all to peep game and check that shit out. Batman Dark Patterns. I don't know what the hell is that. B was that?
Ruby threw that one on there.
You guys know what Dark Patterns is? Wait, are we serious?
Do you know how much?
Yes,
I don't give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck about Batman. I've
been seeing this at the shop for the past 3-4 weeks, and I'm just
it's really good.
Right.
Batman Dark Patterns is really good. I'm going to do if you have your fatigue, don't it is standard cut Batman, but I do really think there are some aspects of Dark Patterns.
Oh, okay.
I do think there are some really cool older. To me, when I read this, it, at least the first 5 issues, it gave very much Victorian mystery. There are a lot of elements in here that very much was reminiscent of early detective comics. It was cool. It was really refreshing in regards to what we've been giving. So a good slide from Ruby because it's good.
The covers look dope. I'll have to peep it. I there will never be a day that unless it has someone I give a fuck about like Static on it, there will never be a Batman book on my pull list. Like,
that's fair.
I'm sorry.
I'm always looking for a fresh news story, and that's why I'm also going to say Batman Gotham by Gaslight, a League for Justice issue 5 is coming out.
Right.
Well, because I just talked about how much I love Elseworld stories.
And then well, go ahead.
No, but it's just one of those things where if you are tired of Batman, but you also still like Batman in this really weird state that I'm in, call me out all you want, absolutely.
Oh no, you're fine.
Go pick up Dark Patterns, and also go pick up Batman Gotham by Gaslight. Fun, cool. It's yeah.
All right, bet. Then we had Harley and Ivy, Life and Crimes coming out. I did not know that was coming out. That's awesome.
So absolutely great. That actually came out last week, I believe. And so I'm not sure who put it on the list this week. I will let everybody know. Fabulous read, but you know, it's not a this week pull.
Fair enough. Ultimate Wolverine and Ultimate Black Panther, like they're continuing. Ultimate Black Panther, I finally started to read it. I said a while back that I was not wanting to read it because I'm still annoyed that T'Challa doesn't have a mainline book at Marvel right now. But it's solid.
The Ultimates are solid.
It's a solid thing. I will say, and someone also said it reading the preview on Twitter, the idea that Storm has basically just been turned into a baby making machine, it kind of annoys me. But like,
Rogue Storm issue 2 also comes out this week.
Yeah, and just the idea that they're like, oh, we wanted T'Challa and Storm to have a baby so bad that we're gonna make Storm a baby making machine feels kind of weird. But like, if you want more Storm content, Rogue Storm is a thing. I've heard good things about it, so make sure you peep that.
I enjoyed the first issue, so we'll see how the second one goes.
Okay, and then Image has Colossal Kaya #1 coming out and Grey Lady coming out. Image has been cooking recently, so I definitely believe that. Distillery has The City Beneath Our Feet #2 coming out. Distillery, like, if y'all need peeped on Distillery, these are the guys who originally founded Comixology before it got sold off to Amazon, but they're like, ooh, we don't like what y'all doing, so we're gonna try again. And not only did they launch a publisher,
good for y'all.
They launched a new digital platform called Neon Ichiban, where it not only does manga, but it also does comics as well. So you can have your manga and your comics in the same place. Yeah, it's really cool. So we're like, I'm definitely gonna be trying to reach out to them like this week. So I'm gonna have them on the show to talk about the platform because it matters. You guys need to know about that kind of stuff. And like, yeah, digital doesn't have as many perks as physical when like supporting books, but if digital is easier for you because you don't have a shop near you, there's nothing wrong with it. It kind of sucks that it doesn't help like runs as much as you want it to. So definitely go check that out. Grib number 25 from Boom is coming out. Stephanie Phillips has been killing that with Grib, so make sure you check that out. And then Ignition Press has Roots of Madness coming out from Stephanie Williams. This book, if you're into just like crazy awesome stories like Black Girl Magic in a dark way, make sure you peep that. It's definitely a great story.
She's so cool.
She's pumping out great indie stuff recently. She has a book at Bad Cave, she's a book at Ignition. She is just cooking, so make sure you go support her. Final Order Cutoff list, we'll make sure like that is listed in the Discord server. That way you guys know what books you need to pre-order because those books are important. From there, we have some listener questions real quick for you folks.
Sir.
So, from Ruby, what is a video game that you just can't stop playing? I have been playing Insomniac Spider-Man 2 recently, and
yeah, you've been going through it. You want to talk about it?
It's a struggle for me because I kept holding off on it because I got a streamer code from Insomniac when it first came out, but then like I was so disheartened by how much Peter overtakes the story that it was a slog to get through, and like. Also, Harry Osborn being Venom is really fucking annoying. So it's a bit of a slog to go through, even though they paint it a different way. But the Miles sections make it like palatable. So it made me miss Miles Morales Spider-Man the video game so much, because I'm even on record saying that I didn't want to play Miles Morales Spider-Man when it first came out, because it felt like DLC. It felt like half-price DLC that they're just doing to fill a holiday slot. But then I finally sat down and played it, and I was just awestruck by how much love and power was put into it. And then I found out Evan Narcisse was the narrative consultant for it, and that made it even better. So
it was cool. It was fun. It was short, but it was
very good.
It was rewarding to play through. I don't know, at least for me.
Yeah. So playing Spider-Man 2, like there's just nights where I find myself just swinging through the city. Like it feels very enjoyable too. And like, say what you will about like, oh, how sometimes they'll just blackify certain things in like video games or movies and whatnot. There's something so satisfying about the orchestral Spider-Man theme, just having a snare or a bass, like just kicking on it, and you're just like, this is my Spider-Man. There's something different about it when they put a little bit of a beat on that orchestral, and you're like,
it's cool.
Let's ride. Let's swing. So that's been my addiction the past couple weeks. Like, especially to come home from work, just swinging for a little bit, but also just like, now that I've beaten the story and I can just do my thing. God, I hate Harry Osborn Venom so much, and God, am I tired of Peter Parker stories.
That's why I haven't played the game. You got me fucked up.
Especially when they were like, "Hey, let's make Mary Jane."
No, because
scream.
I was obsessed. I was obsessed with the game. I was obsessed with all that, and then that kind of end teaser came where it's like, oh, where's Harry? And then the Venom shot, and I was like, cool. That was a good adventure. I mentally I killed it.
It was a cool idea, but I was still just like, I didn't need it. It was like, I do appreciate they kind of like took off half the Spider-Man's villain roster with Kraven. That was kind of cool. But what about y'all? What are y'all playing recently that got y'all hyped about shit? Apparently,
I'll let you go first, like, Astro.
I'm playing Fortnite, bro. Don't even.
Fortnite. Okay.
The Simpsons map is so silly. The Simpsons map has been really silly. It's very small. It's only like 80 for the battle roulette that comes in, but I kind of like that more than 100 because the games are just quicker, and I love the slog of just continually reeing and like queuing up. But my not brain rot game has been Chainsaw or Lollipop Chainsaw, which has been so fun but so early 2000s because my partner bought me the re-up version, which it's been so fun. I didn't get to play it growing up. My brother was the one with the Xbox 360 and I had a Nintendo DS, so
nice.
I wasn't playing it as a kid, but playing it as an adult has been really fun. I just am kind of so it's not my relax game because it's, as an early 2000s game, you can't like save. You have to finish the stage. So if I don't make my time to sit down and do it, I replayed the high school stage like 3 times. So I was like, okay, so this is, I take like 40 minutes, an hour this is my time. I can't hop on Fortnite with you guys. Like, I have to finish this first.
That's fair.
Hop on Fortnite. The season's cool. If you want to be Homer Simpson.
Fair enough. Be the weed man, apparently.
Yep. And so, current first 2 things I'll say is I've been playing.
How did you get on? Tell me the backstory.
How did this happen? How did you become the weed man, B? How did you become the weed man?
At least for the video game, my girlfriend was playing with one of her friends on Discord, and they were like, "Hey, we know that you work at a dispensary, so like, would you want to play this game? It's kind of like your job." And I was like, "Sure, why not? I enjoy my job."
Those girls are diabolical for that. Hey, you want to play your job?
They are diabolical. Truly, though, like, but there's the thing is, like, I haven't shut up about my job for, like, the past month I've been working there now. I've been enjoying it so dang much.
Okay, so that's their revenge.
Yeah, that's their revenge. They're just like, okay, you love your job so much, we're going to make you work then.
Play this goddamn simulator.
Play this simulator with us and see how much you like your job. And then that's all I do is just do that one portion, even though there's so much more to that game. I'm just like, nope, I'm just sticking to the weed. That's all I need to do.
That's fair.
Oh, are there other
Yep, there's other substances and everything that you can do.
Okay.
They're doing an update this month to where they're adding psilocybin. I'll phrase it that way, so that way all the censors can't get mad at us. And then next game is Marvel Rivals that's up there, but the true passionate game is Stardew Valley. Every Sunday I have a whole set going on with friends to where we got a farm going on, and it's just great. We're going on perfection.
That's how you stay so calm, buddy.
Millions.
That's how you find your inner zen.
Exactly. You guys got to find your Stardew Valley game, but hey, Concerned Ape, can we get Haunted Chocolatier like soon,
I
please?
know, I know. It's going to be revolutionary when it does come out, though. Revolutionary.
Most
Did you guys
definitely.
hear that Animal Crossing updated?
Yeah, they did a new
Big
update.
day forever.
Ooh.
Who have forever needed that. For
Fair enough.
whoever needed that.
That was my
I'm
COVID
gonna look in the
saving
mirror
game.
after this and talk.
There we go. I will at least say
So
Animal Crossing was my COVID saving game, and that's what
It
nice.
helped
was
me
mine
through
too,
COVID
but I got
times.
so disappointed in the way it was handled with launch and stuff like that, that
Mm-hmm.
even with this new
Hmm.
update, I'm like, you lost me.
Right.
Once I'm gone, I'm gone.
That's
That's the
fair. I've been there
lesson of this
before with video
video.
games. So the Mobius Chair said, "What's your favorite DC Dark Multiverse character? Like the
I
different
thought
ones
about
for
this. The
yes,
Drowned.
the
I
Drowned. Really? Okay.
love that girl. I think there is something so because it's one of those things that she doesn't feel like a Bruce Wayne at all. She is a female variant, but it's also another thing of she lost her love and kind of went stir crazy and mad, and she has a cruelty in her own right that I really enjoyed seeing with the kind
Mm,
of bio warfare she enacts on
yes.
the entire ocean. I just think there is a level of depravity there that we don't really see with the other ones, and a kind of 0 to 100 of like, okay, you killed my man, bet.
Mm,
It's
very.
war
Yeah.
on your entire population.
Most
I
definitely.
just, I, ooh, crazy girl, love you.
For me, I would definitely say Grim Knight because I love
Okay.
the idea. Because maybe it's just the I'm tired of Batman in me, but I like the idea, especially because like there was a Dwayne McDuffie story I've talked about before, the story where Vixen goes through the multiverse and finds a bunch of different versions of different Justice Leaguers, and she finds this version of Batman who's called the Paladin, and
Mm-hmm.
he's just hunting down Gotham's villains and putting five across the face and killing
Yeah.
them. And I thought it was so cool. So to see Grim Knight basically be just Bat Punisher and is just tired of all the bullshit and going through stuff, I always love that. The idea that maybe we do see Batman on that one bad day. We do see him have that, but not Batman who laughs version.
Right. I
Because,
do love the
yeah.
utilization of him in that run, especially I'm blanking on who he kidnaps and who he holds hostage, but it's such an interesting kind of he doesn't have as much passion almost in what he's
Right.
doing, that you can see the moments where he could crack in this
Mm,
instance. And it's not because he is not trained, it's not because he's not good at what he does, but it's just like I don't got stakes like
mm-hmm.
that. When you're too good and you can plow anything down in your way and you don't have the moral code of like, well, I have to
Exactly.
stop.
Like it feels very. Plus, it also it reminded me of the '90s, where this is probably Rob Liefeld's wet dream of a Batman. Something because the idea of just all guns
No, you're
all the
totally right
time,
though.
and the Francesco Mattina variant where he's just stacked to the nines and the bats are flying around his guns. And it looks so cool. So that's why I love Grim Knight, because I get really tired of seeing Batman stick to these ideals that in reality he really doesn't give a shit about. So it's just maybe let's
Ooh.
just see if we crack that egg a little bit and see what happens, because I'm kind of tired of your shit. Now, I will
And then
say.
he becomes tired of his own shit. He's like,
Exactly. And I love that because it also speaks to the idea of what went wrong with the Snyder films, because we don't need introspection on the start of a universe. We could have introspection later. I'm tired of Batman. Can we have introspection now, please? Okay, let's do it. But when you're starting a universe, you don't need introspection. And that's why the Snyder movies failed. B, what's your favorite Dark Multiverse character?
So here's the issue with me going last is because both of y'all say two of my favorite dark characters, and so I have to sit here and pull another one out of my butt. And so I'm gonna have to go with Murder Machine. And the only reason
Ooh.
why is because I like that dynamic between Cyborg having the whole mother box instance with him being the
it's
smartest,
sad.
like thing that's there going against the murder bot, and that takeover just wrenches out of my heart with just loving Cyborg so much and knowing his backstory with what goes on with his dad, with trying to fix him and make him human, and then just turns him into a cyborg, him losing his mom and everything. It just ties me in so much more to see like everything that Cyborg tries to accomplish, what goes on in the Watchtower, is just like gone like that, is what feels like in that issue. Just that was a gut punch for me. And so like that's where that just really like goes up in there with my top 5. That's really what
also
I put
the giant
he breaks my heart in that storyline.
Yes.
The
giant bat tank with Batman's skull on the front was a little much.
It's crazy.
I will say.
It's crazy.
You know, that's,
love it.
And then from there, Bodaz, if I said that wrong, I'm terribly sorry. What is our ideal Justice League roster for comics and future one that you want to see in the DCU? All right, baby, let me holler at you. I'm just gonna say the Dwayne McDuffie launch, because it gave you the perfect personification. Because it wasn't just Dwayne's too. I forget who it was, because there was, like, when it first started, it was a draft. It was a DC Justice League draft, and I remember because they even had teases of who was all in the draft during Wizard Magazine, back when Wizard Magazine was a thing, and you saw like, oh, maybe Nightwing could join or Power Girl could join, and it was such a cool idea of like the Trinity going through who could possibly be a part of this, and then them just getting to like Black Canary, Hawk Girl, them bringing on Roy and having him be Red Arrow. That idea of progression for some characters, making sure that Vixen and Black Lightning were a part
Roy
of that team.
Harper on screen.
Like, how cool would that be, though? Like, them saying, oh, we'll have an origin for this, but it'll be like a Roy and Oliver prequel movie. And I'm like, ooh, that would be really cool. But that idea of examining that era would be so cool, going through that specific era of a draft. Because you have, like, a Trinity movie where you have, like, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman, but then you get to the draft, and I think the draft would be a really cool dynamic to examine there. That's just me. I want to make sure my black folks are there, but I like the idea of a draft to be the start of it all. Be what you got.
Okay. All right. So first thing on the top of my head is like, I want a Vixen in there if I have a Justice League. I just feel like that'd be a great dynamic of like keeping it down to earth kind of thing. When you have them going up into the Watchtower and doing supernatural stuff, it still keeps them grounded in some kind of way. The next one up is going to be, I keep going between Black Lightning and Mr. Terrific, but I kind of just want to throw them both on there because I feel like Mr. Terrific would be there for more of the like brains, the knowledge and everything like that. And then Black Lightning with more of just like the down to, not, I don't want to say down to earth feel, but more down onto the sense of having like that base street level knowledge. But
exactly like what you were talking about with Vixen.
Exactly. And I just think that having that dynamic there is extremely important. Any Flash, because you always need a speedster on the team. My personal pick for this one is probably going to be Cho, because I don't see enough of her and when it comes down to Flash stuff, and so I'd love to see her in some more Justice League stuff.
Have Joe on there? Okay, I can see it. See it.
And then
I wish I could dap you up for that answer. That was
it was the Brad Meltzer run. That's why it started with Brad Meltzer and then it went into Dwayne McDuffie. I apologize.
Yep, and then
redeemed yourself with the Jason Todd, Tim Drake.
I know, right? By the way, make that a short for everything so we can get rage bait for going on this episode. That will be perfect.
I just want to also like looking on our faces of me and Jay just being like,
right, like we're looking at you like, are you good, bro? Like, because like the idea in my head of like an angry Tim Drake, I'm just like, we don't want that.
No, and then you said, like, Batman doesn't kill, and I was like, wait, I actually don't know where we are.
Right, especially because I just went on a whole tangent about how I didn't like Titans of Tomorrow, Tim Drake, and then you're like, murder! And I'm like, what?
Where are we?
No, that's fair. And then I want to throw Martian Manhunter on there just because I just love John. He's just such a great character. I love his little addiction to Oreos because I love Oreos. So I just want to see more of those, you know?
Very nice. I can get down with that. All right. Who's getting on the Astro League?
Just give me a Justice League Dark, but here's the conversation that I want to edit from last time because we did talk about this, but Instead of, oh, here comes a Batman to kind of just filter it out, I want a Wonder Woman. And I do think there is a conversation here of, if we have a Justice League Dark roster and we bring and introduce a Wonder Woman, the conversations we can have regarding magic are endless. Honestly, that is one of those things that, like, the pairing of Batman, I can get it when it comes to like the occult-ish, almost like the grittiness of it all. But
Very
like when
much.
it comes to the tomes, bitch, like the
The
actual
tomes.
ancient fucking on the papyrus written magic. What is Bruce Wayne gonna? Sorry, like, what you need an ancient in her own right. So I think my ideal kind of, if I could even be so lucky, is to see a Constantine, a Detective Chimp, a Doctor Fate, a Zantana, like all these kind of magic users, maybe these in occult investigators and stuff like that, with a Wonder Woman leading the charge almost, or being the one to gather this team of individuals to. And I think it
Yes.
would be perfect as a Diana who's like, yo, I'm kind of out of my league here. I'm not a magic user
Out
like
of your
that.
league.
I like, I need people that, and I think Diana would be also be like perfect in that position
Oh, for
of just
sure.
like, I'm out of my I'm out of my depth here. Let's change my terminology, my wording. I'm out of my depth here. Let's get people that know magic, and I think that'd be really cool to see.
Fair enough. All right, bet. Well, like, that is the end of our listener questions. Don't forget, folks, that you can join the Discord and submit your listener questions for each week of the show. Like, make sure that you do that. And then from there, B, what do you want to leave the people with for this week? What is your closing statement for these folks?
Ooh, my closing statement is, you guys got to stay positive. The world is scary. There's a lot of angry
It's getting
news that's
scary.
going in, and comic books are a way for you to escape. And it's a way for you to maybe digest what you're reading that's going on online, and for you to just take a step back. And this is a version of you touching grass. It may still be inside, but it's a way to just get connected with a community that isn't all fired up right now with what's going on in America and in just today's world.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Astro, what you got for these people? What you want to leave the people with this evening?
I recently launched my Substack, yippee! So you can find me on Substack
Nice.
under Astro Caramel. If you know me and have read my work before, it's not anything new, but I do have 3 articles on there that do talk about Wonder Woman, Marston's Wonder Woman, and kind of the introduction of her character into the Justice League. I have one where it talks about the time that her and Steve Trevor like got married, quote unquote. So very fun reads. And then I have a creative piece which talks about, I wrote it maybe a month or 2 after my autism diagnosis, and I found my place on the spectrum, and I wrote a piece conceptualizing my disorder through a Batman. So
Nice.
talk to me nice.
All right, cool. For me, folks, I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate that. We are almost to 500 listens of the show total.
Yes, sir.
We are almost to 50 followers when it comes to the people who are dedicated to the show. We appreciate that everyone's been like rating us 5 stars. Please make sure that you continue to do that, because it'll make it to where more people can find us on the algorithm, and that way we can get some treats for B-Rex's dog. But
She's whining. She's crying
begging over here.
She's begging.
But no,
It's like, it's been an hour 30 with no treats.
But no, thank y'all for so much for how much y'all have been loving the show. And also, just like, please make sure that you guys are looking for new books to read. Don't just read the big 2. There are some amazing stories that we highlighted, the books coming out from Ignition Press. We highlighted books from Boom and Image that are coming out. Heck,
Listen to what B said. That's a
Yeah.
very poignant note there of, if you can't really digest what's going on around you in the world, like, there are stories that kind of do that work of talking about the hard stuff of what's going on,
Most
and
definitely.
explaining it in a very beautiful, nicely drawn narrative.
Right. And like, we just had an awesome interview with T.S. Luther where we talked about the idea that like there are a lot of creative folks out here that are making the books they want to read. They're reading the books that are like not just the cape and the cowls, but the idea of horror, the idea of fantasy, the idea of just new groundbreaking ideas. There's a book coming out from Ignition Press called Murder Podcast. Like, you can read about some awesome stuff out there in these streets if you just take a look and like on League of Comic Geeks. If you take a look to our show, we're going to be interviewing these awesome creators that you find on TikTok that are making their own books. So please make sure that you try something out new. Check out our interviews we're going to be dropping, but just like try something different. And let your comic shop know that you want to try something different, because sometimes you have like a store like my main store that like only does the big two and Image and occasional different books if you pull them, or you'll have like my other store that has like Mad Cave, Ignition, everything on the shelf, because they know it'll get somebody interested in reading. So make sure that you check those things out, because there are some of these books that are going to get optioned for TV shows and movies and things of that nature. So like you'll never know what could be the best. We just found out that Something Is Killing the Children is getting its own TV and movie. So like some of the greatest hits out there can cover indie books. So make sure that you're checking out new books and reading. But above all, make sure that you are pre-ordering your books. Make sure that you are checking out that League of Comic Geeks app or over on Comic Hub, wherever you pre-order your books. Because if you don't pre-order, how the hell are they going to know that you want those books? Make sure that you check us out on the socials, folks. Have a great night. Peace out.